conversations with peers from the music industry that want to break into the world of tech and investing. And one thing I noticed that's a common trend is every time we're talking about investing, someone will always mention how risky it is. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like there aren't risks associated with investing, but I find it to be ironic because as long as I was running around the music industry, I don't recall ever hearing someone say that something was risky. I'm just saying, if you were to put $50,000 worth of jewelry on your neck and walk around with it, no one would really tell you that's risky. If you were to spend a couple $100,000 on a vehicle and drive around the city in it, no one would really tell you that was risky. You could drop a mixtape, dissing another rapper, walk into a strip club with a pocket full of money, throw it all in the air, walk into the parking lot, see people shooting at each other, and the next night, when we're headed to the next club, no one would stop and say, wait a second, this is risky. So basically, it's about reformatting the way we think about things because we're all investors in some form or fashion. The clothes you wore to the club, the jewelry you bought to impress other people, the rims you put on your vehicle, your iPhone, all of that is an investment. It's just some investments don't make us back any money in return. There will always be risks associated with investing. It's just that some investments lead to a dead end and some might lead to a pot of gold. You just have to remember the rule of thumb is when you're investing, you only spend what you can afford to lose because that's far less risky.
Everything Chamillionaire said in that video was so true. Throughout all my years of investing, and when I quit my job in 2016, the common thing I have when talking to us black people about investing is the mindset to get over putting up the risk. The mindset to get putting up your money and believing that this thing will work out. Not everything does work out. I have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, close to $1 million over the years with investing. But ask me how much I did make off some of those deals. The thing is, man, not everything will pan out the way you think it's gonna pan out, and everything happen as fast as you would like it to happen. But if you stay down and you stay committed long enough, you will. When I used to ride around in a Chevy Monte Carlo with Lamborghini doors and 22s, nobody ever said that was risky. They did tell me I could be robbed. They did tell me that, man, why you riding like that, man? You get robbed. I knew all of the risks that came, but I did it anyway. I knew the risk when I bought my Camaro, the risk of having my car and riding around with it. I knew the risk of wearing a lot of jewelry on. I was the guy that niggas wanted to rob. I was the guy that niggas wanted to lay down because I'm the one that had it, but I did it anyway. I wore it anyway. You know why? Because I felt like I worked hard enough and I could do what the fuck I want with my jewelry. But I also protected myself. But the thing is, when it comes to investing, is you gotta take the risk. You gotta take the chance. Sometimes you gotta say, fuck it. You gotta close your eyes and you gotta say, I'ma just do it. I know people that went in the clubs where people were killed at and they went back that very next week. And they still go out to clubs. I know people that spend $400 on a bottle, that's $40 in a liquor store, and will tell me that that makes sense in the club because that's the club. You gotta respect them, they gotta make their money. But if somebody sold you a course for $400, you would swear up and down they scamming you. You would swear up and down